Hey, thanks for watching another Java John AZ video. Very much appreciate it. Podcasts are extremely popular now. They started kind of began taking off around 2007 with smartphones, other technology, streaming services. Also, some of the tech companies started to make some major investments on their end as far as streaming goes, and on the consumer side. We were looking for alternatives to broadcast or cable TV, the way we listen to music, radio, all that kind of changed around that time and started to go. A lot of people do podcasts, as I'm sure you're aware. You might even be somebody who does one. The reasons why most people start a podcast, it varies. Number one, it could be a personal or a company branding, part of a marketing strategy, giving back, sharing what you know, passionate about a particular topic, and of course, it's if you can monetize it, it's a nice side gig, and I'll talk a little more in detail about that. Sorry, Cat Stevens is over there just making sure he's not causing trouble. Planning, like anything else, is important. Um, what's your motivation for hosting a podcast? What do you hope to get from it? Results. Um, Knowing your why will help guide you through the rest. You want to think about your format. Is it going to be all talk, just like I do on my videos? Interviews, co hosts, multiple hosts? Will you chat or take live interaction, let people call in, whatever it might be? A lot of things to consider because you're going to need to know all these things as you get through the process. Uh, Specifically, that's you want to know your audience. Who are you targeting? Whether it's for personal or professional reasons, you want to know who you're targeting. What's your audience? What's your topic going to be? The top podcast themes, topics for 2024. True crime. See if I remember this right. True crime, uh, personal development or self improvement, sports with in depth analysis, entertainment, celebrity news, things like that. Politics, or the list is long. You can find that on quick online search, top 10 podcast themes or audiences. Um, but again, stick with your passion. If you have a thing for dogs, cats, cooking, whatever it might be, you could take a look at that and just find an audience for it. As somebody once said, there's a market for everything. So if you wanted to market podcasts for left-handed Armenian meat cutters, I'm sure you could probably come up with a theme that would bring in all of them to listen to your podcast. And I picked that out because high school uh, history teacher used to use that as an example for something that was just very far-fetched, left-handed Armenian meat cutters. Anyway, so that's a niche. You can either uh, cater to a select group or you can look for a wider audience. True crime would be an example of that. You want to make sure that you know the length of your podcast, how long it's going to be. My videos are more or less around 15 minutes, long enough to, as you might have guessed, finish a cup of coffee. No, Java with Johnny has absolutely nothing to do with computer programming. So, and there's a Java with John that does city manager stuff. So that's the reason why we threw on the AZ after the title of mine. Um, the average length depends on the topic. If you're doing daily news updates, no more than 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes is all you'll need. Um, it depends on what again what your theme is and how long you need to deliver a quality product. True crime, usually an hour, just to kind of throw it in there as an example. Again, something you can research in detail online. You want to know not just the length, but how often you're going to do this. Frequency, is it going to be daily, weekly, monthly, every other week? Java with Johnny Z every 2 weeks. So that gets released on a Thursday. So Friday, when the business audience is thinking about the weekend, uh, Click that on in the morning, watch it while you drink a cup of coffee, or any time of day, thanks to 24/7 streaming services. You're going to want to stick to your schedule. As soon as you become inconsistent, people will lose faith. You might start to lose audience. So make sure you're consistent and ready to go. One of this with anything else, time and money. Those are the things you need the most of. So as far as money goes, you're going to need the equipment. Now, some people will automatically go out and buy the best equipment there is available. There's actually a number of different retailers online or in the real world, brick or mortar, that sell podcasting equipment, everything you would need from microphones, equalizers, headsets, things like that. I had an online friend's husband. She's a gamer. She's a professional voiceover artist. And her husband built her a mini soundproof studio in one corner of their garage. So she's all set. You're going to need editing equipment because sometimes there's a flub, or you want to add theme songs, whatever it might be, before or after post-production, as it's called. Just keep in mind, it's very easy to spend the money. Just figure out what your budget would be and go from there. Now, as you might have guessed, I have adequate equipment. I don't wear a microphone yet. I have a simple camera set up, and I worked within the budget we had set up for this. So stick within your budget. You can always grow your equipment as you go in there. You're also going to want to practice public speaking on a microphone, windshield, because most people will pop their P's or slur their S's on a microphone, because that's different than public speaking, being on a microphone versus talking out loud to a live crowd or a recorded video. Now you have to figure out where you're going to host your podcast. There's a number of them, no particular order: Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Buzzsprout. Sorry, I almost forgot the last one. Those are the three that are most used by everybody. If you do, again, search online, be able to find that out. They all have some sort of guidelines, terms of service, especially if they offer some sort of monetary profit sharing, commercials, things like that. There's always terms of service with that. You can do a number of different ways to do this too. Like, for instance, I have a business associate. He does everything voiceovers, streaming service for podcasters, everything. And you can go use his top of the line studio. He helps you market. He has a platform for you, gets the word out. It's advertised on his website, on and on. You're also paying for all of that to use as well. So something to keep in mind. You want to, I mentioned your terms of service, definitely read terms of service. One platform that I looked at is used by thousands of people that are nationally well known. But the company is based in Canada. So you fall under Canadian law for that particular platform, and that's not something I was willing to do, so I don't use it. There may be terms and conditions that you just don't like. That happen to be one of mine. You can always host your podcast on your website. You'll just have to do a lot more marketing promotions, only because it's a lot easier to find you on Buzzsprout, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, because they're well known and people know the audience. You're looking at me, knows where to go for that. And I mentioned marketing. You're going to want to brand and market your podcast. So you're going to want to, it's an entity, your podcast. Think of it that way. It's something that you need to give it a name, a life, an identity. You'll need logo, website, social media graphics, social media pages, description on your program, what you do, but you're going to want a long version, a short version, and a tagline of some sort. This way it's easier to translate out into different varieties of things. My tagline for my webinar, interesting topics, casual talk. So, and I probably got that wrong because I haven't used that in a long time. Well, I haven't repeated it in a long time, I guess I should say. Set up your marketing plan, how you plan on getting the word out on it. This would include a budget. Again, yes, we're back to money, time or money. The difference with marketing, the freer it is, the less it costs, the more people are doing it. So you might get lost in the shuffle. So think about who your audience is and how you can target that. The usual marketing strategies go along with that one. You will also need to do a biography for yourself, a short bio, as well as an information sheet on yourself. This way, in the event that you do decide to monetize, sell ads, sell merchandise, whatever it might be, you actually have a sheet that you can give to potential sponsors and advertisers. Here's the program, here's the host, here's our audience numbers, things like that. And I mentioned audience numbers because you're going to want to track your activity. You want to, your marketing efforts, what's working, what's not, your podcast, listeners, followers, subscribers, how often it's shared, if that's an opportunity on the whatever platform you're using. Some of the revenue that you'll get from subscriber platforms, that's based on your money from that is based on subscribers. Twitch, an example for that. So track what you're doing, and again, make changes as you need to. What works, what doesn't, what's been the best. You can also take a look to see what, if you listen to particular podcasts, go see what they do, how they brand themselves, how they promote themselves. Now, pick one that's comparable to what you're going to do, because you want to know what your competition is doing, but also look outside different topics, different themes, to see what some of the others are doing. Keeping in mind, some of them have either a well-known name, huge budget, both, or something else that you will have to build up to. This might sound like a lot, but I mean, those are the quick steps. And you don't really even need much. Headset, off you go. Find a platform and just start going and build as you go along. But it's the content, it's your audience, and how you're going to promote yourself, how you're going to gain an audience. That's the important things. So work on your product first, which is your podcast content, and then start promoting it out. I'm going to mention budget again because it's very easy to spend money without thinking about it. So pay attention to that. Make sure you have the time. I mentioned earlier about the frequency, but you have to set aside the time to be able to do the work, do the podcast on a regular basis. My webinars come out every 2 weeks. The length is long enough to drink a cup of coffee. So like I said, 15 minutes. Follow your passion, whatever it might be. If it's a company business or something you're using for your company marketing, follow that. That's your niche. That's your audience. Something personal you want to do, something because you have a passion for it, stick with that. So lots to cover. There's also more online, obviously, but those are the big things to get started, in my humble opinion. So I'm going to finish up my cup of coffee. Cat Stevens went to the back. I'm sure it's nap time for him because that's what cats do. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, great week, and a great year.